This isn't connected? What are you saying? Okay. 1 second. Good.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to Black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing Black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out chicagolegalnetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
And we need you to like,
comment,
and share
that thing
every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your Black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Don't know You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Mayor Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Lenders give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got the whole crew in the building today. What's up, Todd? Todd. It's a special day for you today, man. I see you got your XU Rocks house on.
Oh yeah.
Is this a good luck day, man? Are you feeling some anxiety, man? A little.
Every day's good luck for me, but
yes, because you are here with me and Ruthie and Sonia.
yeah, that too.
Okay.
Anxiety? No,
Not anxiety.
I don't have anxiety anymore
Look.
about nothing except family.
Okay.
Man, why ain't they at home yet?
Wait, are they hanging out late, Todd?
No, every once in a while,
because
Janine will be hanging at her sister's house for man,
it's
11
o'clock. He like, it's 8:30. What are you doing? You know what? Can I tell you something? But our clock, realistically, the clock that we operate on changes the dynamics of a lot. And realistically, 11:30 for grown folks on a weekend or a hangout night with family is not really outlandish. But when you are thinking about you got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you be thinking like, it's 6 o'clock. What you doing out? I be like, if Carrie come home like at 7 o'clock, I be like, do you know what time it is? Yeah,
Right.
it's 7 o'clock.
Because how are you going to go to bed until they get home?
Well, don't trip. That chair be calling. Now I will be on. Where you at? But I do not have a problem falling asleep. Don't let me wake up and it be like 10:45. I'd be like, what you think this is? And she'd be like, just because you decided to check out of the world at
7 o'clock every day. That does not. Nah, it's like But I'm gonna tell you what. I have decided, like I said after going to Dawn's skating party, that this year I am not going to be living by the watch TV, get in the bed clock. I'm going to live by the I got till 11:30 to get it in, so I'm getting it all the way in right up till I'm leaving it. I got to be home a long enough time to be home.
Okay.
So I'm trying to make sure that I get the maximum out of this summer, even as we see the light outside.
All right, grown up.
I'm all grown up. Don't tell me what to do.
Adulting.
You can't tell me what to do. I still think Candace Mack might have the best one for the summer. She said she was going to be. I think she had a Facebook story that went up and said her summer will be all day partying. She will be out by 4, drunk by 6, and in the bed by 10. And I was like, that is the perfect plan for the summer. All right, speaking of the summer, she's back in the building. Miss Ruthie Moore, how you feeling today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good day.
We was, I was like,
I would have texted you.
no, yeah, like you. That's how. Yeah, that's how they
Don't call me no more.
No, they quit.
I would've
They
texted
quit
you.
via text.
I don't know. Tuesdays close to Thursdays, close to
Karen was like,
Fridays.
"Is Ruthie gonna be there tomorrow?" I was like, "Yes, she's gonna be here tomorrow."
No, I would. I'm quitting gracefully.
What?
I'm not gonna abruptly just AWOL, no show. I'm gonna gracefully.
Wait, why do you feel like
quit.
you have a plan for this?
Yeah, right.
It's like you thought about it too much.
Well, okay.
Exit
So
strategy.
a little birdie told me that you quit with Maze Jackson. He gonna quit you before you can quit him. So my goal is to quit you before you quit me.
Oh,
No,
Ruthie,
man.
I'm not. So we've been together too long.
That's why I know.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
Ruthie text gonna say, "I got a boyfriend. Don't call me."
I'll be like, "Is he white?"
Yes. Why? Yes, he is.
And I'd be like, "Yeah, don't call me." Now, Ruthie Moore, you back in the building. How you feeling today? We didn't get your weekend update. How was your weekend? Did you have a good time? How was mommy, mother, mommy, mom?
That is the funniest thing.
I love that.
Yeah, so-
mommy, mom. That is so funny to me.
And real.
How do you answer?
Why do you want? No.
That's what she said.
No, my kids don't do that really.
But you're not mommy, right?
Right. Well, they just be like, "Dad," or "Hey, Dad." They'd be like, I'll be like, "Yes, sir." Because I keep telling you, he'd be like, "Come on, let's go through the drive-thru." No,
Let's go.
I'm not going through the drive-thru with you. You'd be like, "I can order." I'd be like, "No, I don't need you to order. You gonna pay? If you ain't paying, shut it." All right, Ruthie Moore is in the building. Happy Mother's Day to your mom.
It was nice.
Was it nice? Once again, I confirmed my status as the favorite child for Mother's Day.
Wow.
Because my card said so.
Yeah. That'll do it.
All right, Escobar, you are back in the building too. You know what? Let me tell you how Sonia did us. She said, "I'll be back Tuesday." Ryan was like, "What you telling me for?"
Because Mexicans' Mother's Day is Monday, the 10th.
Cause Mama be like, "I already
And
get
my
Sunday
mom-
off. You ain't
Right.
splitting my holiday
My mom was
up."
like, whoa, you're leaving on Mother's Day? I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Wow.
So, well, it's you know what?
But
I'm
on
glad.
Sunday, I was up at like 5:30.
Like, did it?
And everybody's sleeping in. And I'm like, oh,
Did you make pancakes?
no.
You didn't make no
I
like.
made myself coffee.
You ain't go make no food.
They didn't get up until 12:01. I was like, who lives
Oh,
like
see,
that?
that's why
Wow.
you gotta have it
Who lives
smelling.
like
You gotta
that?
have the house smelling, where they be like,
Oh, it wakes them up.
"What is that? Is that bacon crackling?"
That still work for y'all families?
Bacon, yep.
When I cook,
That's how my
people
mom
wake
was,
up. They be like, "What you?" Well, actually, no. When I cook, they be like, "When you gonna bring it up here?" I'll be like, "Dang." I'll be like, "I made you duck eggs." No, I'm just joking.
Duck eggs.
No, yeah, Carrie eats duck eggs.
Really?
Yep,
The-
she eats
the-
quack quack.
What's the difference?
She a Delta.
Okay.
No, I think duck eggs have less. Something in regular eggs, and so it's but you can buy duck eggs now in the store.
I didn't know that.
Like you can go to Mariano's and they're right there on the shelf.
Really?
What section? The egg section?
Egg section, right? It's like straight up, like it'd be like it's a duck egg. It'd be big. I'd be like it'd be. No, I mean the eggs are the same size, but the yolk be like, "Hello,
I'm a duck.
I'm a duck." Dang it!
What about the taste?
The taste is pretty good. Similar. It's very,
It's similar.
yeah. It's pretty similar. It's like, it's not, how duck is like greasy?
Yeah.
It's not. The egg is.
Well, no, I wouldn't say.
All right, look, we got everybody in the building. Let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. We are up and away. I want to send a big shout out to DJ Reese yesterday filling in.
Go sick.
He did whatever. He did an admirable job.
Thank you.
I mean, he's like, Reese, no more talking. You cannot talk on my because
Reese wants it like that. This is the Maze Jackson show.
I'm like, look, dog, you can't be doing you
A
can't
Marvel
be right between you and my son. No, you will not show me up on my own show.
Even good morning.
He was like,
Good morning.
you're like Reese could audition for the Darth Vader. When I'm telling you though, when we have our Smooth Jam show, overnights. Reese gonna be like, "This is Reese," but I'll be like, after you see week.
That's what I'm saying.
You be like,
this went from sultry to nasty.
Promos on this show.
it's funny.
Sultry to nasty.
Chris the critic said, if anybody's going to 1 million first, it will be them. And I can believe it because
State of the world.
they write in that what's that World Star? They in that media take. They right in that lane. Oh, hey y'all! Can I also tell y'all what? So, how do y'all feel about white people coming on What's in it for the Black People media?
Like for what?
I'm gonna sit this one out.
Like to talk?
I'm the quota.
pay.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you mean they have a show?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I mean, about what?
about mortgages and
Real stuff.
That's what I figured it would be,
and about credit and
It's always that kind of stuff.
Well, hey man, I was like, dang, I could do that.
Look, this is a business.
I'm not against it. Yeah,
Look,
right.
I'm about the money.
Well, no, I mean it's like he was like, look, so it's a white guy like, look, man, well, it's gonna be funny. It's
Can
actually
he just pay and send a black person?
Like everybody else.
well. I mean, I think
Sonia.
They get city contracts.
I think you know what, Dad, how y'all gonna say no? Okay, I'm gonna
just
start.
saying.
I'm gonna start
All
putting the
this money, we
contracts
ain't
up.
getting it.
Right, I'm gonna be like, you know what? That's okay. We're gonna talk about it. Yes, we're gonna talk about it though, because it's actually kind of interesting. No, but not right now. We're gonna talk about it. Actually, I'm gonna introduce. It's like I love. You know what my
Ruthie,
favorite
wink,
people
wink.
is. But hey, oh no,
they
not we can't come. Not when Ruthie is on. Ruthie has to. Whenever we have white guys in the audience in the studio, Ruthie cannot come anymore. Cause I'm telling you, they're gonna be like,
Dang.
you're kind of skinny, ain't you?
Oh,
You kind of tatty, ain't you?
whole thing.
All right, y'all. Where are we this morning? All right. Hey, check it out, y'all. It's Inauguration Day. It's Inauguration Day. The mayor of Robbins will be sworn in today, this evening, and I am super excited for him. And I'm super excited that he did not get a suit from Dress to Impress.
I don't know what that is.
First of all, you can get anything tailored.
That's all right now. Shout out to my man Terrence Johnson, my stylist, who they did the thing yesterday. I was pretty proud of those guys. The Navy Pier fly. Oh, so that's tonight. I don't know if it's gonna be on Facebook Live because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hold the camera and clap. So I'll figure it out.
I thought he was gonna say hold the camera and cry. Didn't you think he was gonna say
You
that?
sound like you sound completely like you from Mars. If you will never see me cry, ever, never, ever, never.
Now I have a mission.
Mm-hmm.
May's crying on Facebook.
Right? Will it get me to like? If I cry on Facebook for $1 million, if it give me $1 million, I'll make it an ugly cry. Remember when you used to cry when your mama would whoop you? Why you? And then she be like, then you start hyperventilating. They be like, shut up before you give me something. Before I give you something to cry about. You just beat me with an extension cord. What you want me to do?
Ruthie, remember those good old days?
That's trauma.
It is trauma.
That is trauma. That's trauma.
That's good trauma.
Yeah.
That's good trauma. I was thinking, I remember one day when they closed the gates, when the thing went, I was like, my mama should have beat me one more time. Really? He'll be like, I'll be thinking.
Oh, you talking about jail?
Yeah.
I was like, the gates? That's when Mace went to heaven?
Yeah, I figured something would come out of this.
Yeah, nah, I would be like, nah. I was thinking about, I'd be looking around like, you can see some kids and you be like, they need a whooping, dog. You're like, a whooping is going to detour this. And I understand that maybe trauma is necessary. Like, I touched the hot stove before and be like, I still remember it.
Well,
Did you do it again?
Yeah, did you?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And
No,
I still touch hot irons to this day.
Just
Oh,
to see
my
if they hot.
goodness.
Just see if it's hot.
Just to see.
You you tap it right till your fingers blister. I remember one time, let me stop.
No, I remember a lot of kids who were like,
They need a whooping.
that's how I felt. And then they grew
Or
up and they
shaky.
turned out to be, kind of regular human beings.
Kind
They still could have kind of. All right. The Navy Pier flyover is finished after 7 years. But let me just say this. I don't want the city, the state, the county, anybody in construction to tell me nothing about no damn road that is complete until they finish the Jane Burn.
It's been what, 8 years, 9 years?
I am so disgusted with this project. I mean, it looks super cool, but it really has been. I can't remember the last time that there weren't signs, arrows, construction.
I take it every morning for the past 8 or 9 years.
And
only during COVID
did it move?
did it move.
Mm-hmm.
It is unfreaking believable that this project is still going on.
Shame.
And it really is. It really is. And it's like they done reconfigured it and it's like all it really does is make this, it guarantees that the road builders remain the road builders and that they will guarantee their money for years upon years to come, and there ain't a damn thing we could do about it.
Oh, we have a change order.
Yep. Change. Add $2 more billion to that. Yeah. It was like, oh yeah, we messed. They was like, we did this for 6 years. Erase all that.
Yeah, right.
Erase that. Let's do it all over again. Now you got flying bridges through Greektown that ain't even Greektown no more. I think it's only like 2-3 restaurants in Greektown that's Greek anymore.
I think you're right.
Amen. And now they done opened up a cannabis joint right in the middle of Greektown. Like they been like, give me all this.
Makes sense. Good area for that. People
Did you
aren't,
hear that?
a
Good area
is
to
where
keep
people aren't afraid to go.
Good area where black people shoot. Do you know where people will travel to go get weed? Have you seen some of the old school weed spots? And you talk about people. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, this is where we self-discriminate. Come on, Todd.
No, my uncle was an alcoholic, which meant he hung around with all kind of people, and he went to places I will never go.
Them be the best places. You be like, dang, I ain't even. This is where they do that at. You be like, Yep,
my cousin Donna, brave like.
Donna was a gangster
Supergirl.
though, Joe. She was like, she used
She'd
to
go and drag him out the gambling dens. Like, I ain't going in there. He gonna have to find his own way out.
What you mean she go drag him out? She ain't put 5 on it?
Dang.
She like, let me hit the 10
One
on
hand there and
6-8.
put a $5 down.
let me get 10 on that 6-8. All right, y'all. Did y'all know that the Juicy Smouye is still got a trial going on?
I've seen that. Yeah.
Juicy Smouye and he's coming back to appear live, which means he's gonna make more cameras, more noise. But they're saying that they're trying to see if the lawyer that he hired, Inye Uche, played any role in speaking with the Osundario brothers. Now, if you don't know who the Osundario
what are they
brothers
trying to say? Is this racist?
No, I think it's a Godfather moment. So, I can't think of OJ's lawyer that's helping Juicy Smouye. I can't think of his name. Mark. Anyway.
Yeah, like 8 of them.
Yeah, but anyway, he's the attorney for Juicy Smouye. But then Juicy hired Inye Uche, who is a Nigerian lawyer, who people are now saying had some contact with the Osundario brothers. Now, what it sounds like to me is the scene in The Godfather, right? Oh, so y'all was with it. So we finna go hire, because the Nigerians will chop you up in pieces. So you go hire one of their lawyers who stands there and be like, I know your parents. I will see them in the motherland. And you say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I don't think it was Juicy, really. Right? And so they're saying, they're alleging that he has interfered. That's what I took from the article. Because, when you look across the thing, it's one thing when you're looking against the white lawyer and you got the little white lady and she talking, and then there's one of them dudes that you know how this go. He just be looking at you like, you sure you want to do this?
I've seen some movies.
Yeah, I seen some real life. You sure you want to do this? There's certain people you just like, yeah, I might not be right there. Vaccine expanded to youth ages 12 and up. Look like it's about to be vacated. Them planes, good Lord. Do you know what the
I
plane
don't have any of them.
I got to get on the plane. I got to get on the plane quick. Because the kids are about to get back on the planes. And it's about to be like, Lord Jesus. And they going with their grandparents, so they really ain't going to be listening to nothing. Vaccine clinics are opening in downtown locations. Did you see that? They opened up like 8 vaccine spots where you could just walk in clinics and get the vaccine in large buildings where they are making people return to work. So it's almost like you can walk past the clinic and go in, so there's no excuse.
Oh.
And it's free, and you can get the 1 or the 2 shot.
Cool.
Yeah, but so y'all say yeah, y'all say cool, and I say who got the leases and how much are they paying? Ooh. And how many black people got one of them leases? Because the buildings that did, and I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I'm just saying that that is part
Black
of the
people don't own big buildings.
Black people own buildings on the south side and the west side that are doing the same thing that employ people. So open up, pay in some of these black storefronts so just like on 87th Street, all the black traffic down there, rent out one of them storefronts and help relieve the rent for one of those store owners.
Are you saying that they're going to be in the neighborhoods?
I'm saying that don't get on TV again showing me how you about to take these rich white developers, just like you paid how many $100,000 a day to open up at the United Center, acting like we stupid, but that's paying the difference of the cost of them not having athletes there. So and this goes to my point, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. It's like all of this stuff, we be like, ooh, that's so good. They did just how you was just like, that's nice. I was like, damn, how much do they pay? They are paying Michigan Avenue rents to give people vaccines. Now, I'm not mad at that, but I also understand the economics of it. And I'm not just going for I'm clapping on TV. All these people are opening this up because it's an economic benefit. It's not just what we see. And I'm sorry to sound petty about it, but it's like, who are the black people who have vacancy, right? In local neighborhoods. And I'm saying, can we open up in those locations? There should be one at 55th and the damn Ryan, right? Right? Black-owned mall. They gonna pay all that money they pay in rent, pay for some retail rent in that space. Where do we know black property owners and who are the people that are pushing them to the forefront? I know I sound crazy, man, but it's like these people are passing out money every which way trying to help. And we like, yay, we get a chance to go get the vaccine. They like, yeah, we rich, nigga. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. We'll be back after these messages. The Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
WIIFTBP.
Wasted on you. From the beginning, you see my world spinning, just a tasting guide.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host. I like that song a lot. Who is it again? You got to tell me because we're gonna have to figure out how we get her on the show.
Jenna Bell.
Jenna Bell. Check it out. That was
Hesitate.
That's a nice little track. You know what I'm saying? Facebook don't be muting their own stuff. Can I just tell all the artists, you all need to get your Facebook artist pages together. And if you get your Facebook artist pages together, then we can get your music approved and get it played. And then we don't get muted. But for those of you that are still
She
listening,
made me unmute. Oh, that's too old for you guys.
yes, it is. It's way too old. I was like, what the hell? Right.
Everybody's
looking like, damn.
I only play the best.
That's Monty Python.
I hated Monty Python.
Oh my goodness.
If my parents used to put on Monty Python, I'd be mad.
Oh, wow.
This is whack.
All right, well, I see where my audience is now.
Whack. However, is Blazing Saddles Monty Python?
No, that's Mel Brooks.
Okay, well, I gotta watch Blazing Saddles. The sheriff's
You do.
The sheriff's
Oh, that's the Moses guy.
Ooh, Lord.
Is this black and white TV?
No.
It is TV though. It was like when there was a Turner channel.
That's the
You
only
had
thing
the
they
Turner
played.
channel.
Yeah, with the pliers.
Yeah.
You had that, Todd?
The Eli.
Are we
He
not
heard-
black?
Yeah, that was the basement TV. you know, as you get the plier TV, that go to the basement.
And you
Or
know,
that
I grew up in I was born in 1963, so life was different then.
Oh yeah, you had man. It'd be funny now because they don't even have a turn. You have to find the channel turner on your TV now to be able to turn the channel. It's hard to. You'd be like, if you can't find your remote, you'd be like, where is the? How do I work this thing?
I tried to turn the TV off the other day, and I was like, what?
Man,
Where is this button?
The other day I could not find the remote control went under the bed under the couch, and I was
So
asleep.
you ordered a new one?
No, but I was asleep. So I just left the TV on. Yeah, right. And went upstairs and went to bed because I didn't know how to turn it off. Right. I was sleepy too. I was like, man, good night.
Mm-hmm. Good night.
Good night. Okay, Google. And then I was like, okay, Google, turn on sounds of the ocean, and it just whoosh, whoosh. All right, hey man, do people still get water beds?
Hecky no.
I don't know.
Remember when that was a
That's
thing?
a liability these days.
Why? Bust
The
your
mess, yeah. You can't you get the same function with a memory foam mattress?
Hell no,
That
you can't
sounds
get no
expensive,
motion
though.
with the ocean. The waterbed was the most ridiculous. I mean, it sounded cool, and it seemed like it would be cool, but it really wasn't.
Oh, I don't think I've been on a water.
It was difficult to sleep on. It was definitely difficult.
Once in my life, I remember now.
The waterbed, like the people, like I got remember when Morris Day was like, I got a brass waterbed. It's like I thought. So you always think you wanted a waterbed. Trust me, fellas, you never wanted a waterbed. It just wasn't what it was all cracked up to be. How we got to the waterbed, I don't know. But we're gonna move on to the COVID relief dollars. So, Ruthie, in case you missed it yesterday, I'm in trouble because I went on a tirade.
What happened?
I went on a tirade yesterday.
The one day I don't come.
I go on a tirade like at least twice a week. But yesterday it was like a tirade because Ruthie, it's like I get frustrated when black folks have the ability and don't. And so I was thinking about, so this weekend it was like a lot of stuff, and I was thinking about how everybody was having a great time, and it was like, it was the epitome of watching on social media a lot of the people celebrating. It's like, and the band played on. It feels like they're celebrating as the Titanic is sinking. It's like we partying, like it's all good. And like you look at it on social media and it looks all good. And you be like, man, we doing so good. And it's like you look around and it's like the island that was a state is now a county, right? Like the land that the people are shrinking on, it's like they partying and the land around them is just shrinking. And so the island is getting smaller and smaller, and you think the party is still rocking, but you getting eaten up all around the edges. And so then I started thinking about COVID and the COVID relief money, and like how I just went off about the buildings and they're doing all of these COVID. We just saw there's $60 million COVID campaign. You turn on TV, there's commercials, there's radio. I mean, everywhere you go, there's something. You be like, they clearly have way too much COVID money at this point.
Is that when they try to figure out what to do with it?
Yeah. It's like they and I'm saying they're doing now mobile buses, they're doing pop-ups, they're doing all the stuff that we used to do back in the urban marketing world. They're using that to do the shop. But I was thinking about the allocation of the funds, of the COVID relief funds. So we saw when the last time we got money, $467 million went to the police. Like 2/3 of the COVID money we got went to the police. We got, what is it, like $2 billion coming from the feds? And immediately there were proposals. There were proposals for universal basic income, right? All lives began to matter when it came to that. But then I was thinking about like the where's the money going? Like when we think about the downtown buildings, when we think about the United Center, when we think about all of the people that have profited during COVID with all of these relief funds, you're like, how are we going to get to that on this paper? I'm asking, should we, because this continues my conversation from yesterday, should black people be getting more COVID relief funds? Like proportionately. Like, should there be an allocation of funds to rebuild or repair? And I'm not talking about our reparations money. I'm talking about everything we saw was the disproportionate deaths of black people and how COVID ripped through our community. And as I'm looking at the money being spent, when you tell me that 2/3 of the money got spent went to the police, right? When you tell me that when we're looking at these ad campaigns and we're looking at all of the downtown buildings, like to me, that whole announcement of all those guys in suits, and again, here they're propping up these giant places downtown. It's sort of like they built the hospital at McCormick Place instead of rebuilding Roseland and your hospital. And I often feel like these are unique opportunities when you got all this money to pour into stuff. And it's not, I gotta ask, who is advocating for the black community? And I'm not talking about like, I'm not talking about the ad stuff. I'm talking about when I just told you about this, the opening up of the centers downtown, that's them participating in the economic recovery. That is them taking full advantage. And somebody from the business community, the downtown business people, were sitting at a meeting and said, hey, we've got this open space. We're returning people to work. Let's open these up at this cost. And somebody said yes. Who, for us, is advocating, and should we be getting prioritized? Because if COVID is going to be a thing, shouldn't some of the infrastructure, and it's going to still disproportionately impact us, shouldn't somebody be saying, remember when I was upset, this is how I got off on a tangent yesterday. When COVID hit, we celebrated the black folks going out to Melrose Park to build a hospital, to rebuild and pour into a hospital, and we had a black person leading that. We celebrate. I'm gonna tell you, in the beginning, I love Dr. Ezike from the standpoint of it was like go, and I'm not tripping. I'm not even tripping on her directly. I'm saying we heard the remdesivir, so we knew that. Like, to me, my expectation is our person at the table is advocating. We should lack on nothing. Like, somebody should be telling a story about how legislator XYZ ABC rebuilds are poured money and funds into under-resourced facilities in the black community. Who is at the table as this? I mean, y'all realize these are billions of dollars being chopped. Mm-hmm. And the mayor just told y'all, first of all, Alderman, be quiet. But my question becomes, if you know that the black community was devastated, like, should there be an allocation for rebuilding the black things that we lost during this? That money that's going downtown is to help those people recover from lost rents, wages, etc. Not to mention the life-saving component of it. You know, everybody in that building got them damn vaccines.
Yeah.
And ain't none of us driving down to pay for parking for $25 for 15 minutes to go get the vaccine down there. And I'm saying, who is literally at the when you have a diversity and equity and inclusion officer, right? Who is prioritizing us and saying the things that we need? Like, what did we need coming out of this, and have we seen it?
Maze, I've seen through the years that, well, you know, the conservatives, they're like, give us our money. And the liberals, same way. You can't get them to say, well, you realize that all the trouble's been in black and Hispanic neighborhoods, so why don't we put, you know, the majority of the money there? Be like, no, my kids, my people, we need it too. They want to see things equal. So, I mean, you see it with the police. You know, they've had panels come and say, well, maybe we ought to divide the police up by the areas that have the most crime. And the white people are like, no, I want all my police officers here. I don't care if there's only like, you know, one shooting every 12 years. I need my people. So they're not looking for anything that's going to take from them to help somebody else.
I need us to use a little common sense. What would they rebuild? When I think about us, what are they going to rebuild? Our healthcare.
Your important question is, who's at the table? If there's anybody.
But the healthcare infrastructure, right? Like, we died. There were no hospitals. There was nowhere for us to go. There were no clinics. There were no facilities. So when we talk about rebuilding, when we talk about it, we're talking about the mental health services that existed in our community, the resources that allow other people to live. The fact that we're saying our immune system isn't functioning, right? It's lack of access to food. Have we said, okay, part of this is we need to put grocery store. Like, there is a whole wealth of health and equity that exists. And what I am telling you is this COVID has become a profit center. Now, and I don't even think they're using COVID just to rebuild healthcare stuff. They're using COVID dollars to fix holes. They're using this COVID right now to rebuild the whole country. Mm-hmm. They're using this COVID to justify an infrastructure bill. You use this COVID to say, damn, we don't have access to the roads, the facilities, the outdoor space, all of the things that make our communities unhealthy.
I think it kind of reminds me of how we get the social services end of things.
And you saw I'm a tag team, because that's exactly what the paper was showing today, that the black politician was saying, don't spend it on infrastructure, or don't spend it on other stuff, spend it on social services. Mm-hmm. That ain't what we need.
Well, I think it's also about the way that things are allocated. So you talked about the economic aspect of them opening those places downtown. And you said the healthcare part is really secondary. Like,
right.
And so I think in the black community, they're, putting the social services and the healthcare part first. And the way that things are brokered through our communities is that they go through like the church, or they go through this local nonprofit. And so those people are actually getting some of this COVID money in a kind of, I don't want to say in a smaller way, but they ain't getting those necessarily like the huge big contracts and things. So I think it's just the way that stuff is brokered to our community. Things are brokered downtown a little bit different. Like it's straight up with an economic lens, whereas we always get our stuff taken through like a social services sort of vision.
But the crazy part is the social services still reap the economic benefit, right? It's not like the social service doesn't take theirs off the top to pay for the infrastructure, to all the things that they need to do. They turn it into a program, which means they need a new program manager, which means that they need to have somebody to fund it, to put it out there, to make it happen. And it becomes, again, a profitable in the nonprofit world, an opportunity for them to acquire more funding. And my point in talking about this is it can be doable. Like, so my thing is, if you're going to spend all of this money to stand up these temporary clinics or these temporary facilities, my point is always why we don't, when there's an influx of money, why don't we use it to build our own infrastructure?
Because we already be so far behind that we just be playing catch up oftentimes. We just try not to die.
And
they thinking about building roads and bridges.
And I think,
but that's not a strategy.
So there's a combo, right? I'm with you and I'm with you. And I feel like when you send it through the churches, when you send it through these agencies, they only have a myopic view. So they can't really see they see, man, we gonna stand up this clinic and we gonna make $10,000 a month and we gonna be able to serve our community and they gonna pay us rent and we can do that.
And somebody gets a fish.
Exactly.
That's how things are brokered to our community.
And that's why I'm asking who and when do we stop? Like, so look, y'all, I'm not tripping out. I'm now moving towards the whole premise of we need to find a solution, because what you're going to see, this happens all the time. The influx of money, and it's a surplus of money, comes in, and white folks take the surplus money and they build the infrastructure. Right now, then we just see who just gave $10 million to Rush Hospital. But they just gave Rush Hospital $10 million because of COVID. They put up the money that they hope to have a $70 million program to then study the healthcare inequities to change the difference in the lifespan, right? They're built off of this COVID. They are leveraging this COVID to build a study to study us. And I am saying, why are we not setting up our own or studying our own healthcare institutions? Now, we don't have them. And so my point is now.
It's the group you went to, I think.
What group?
The lack, we have MLI.
Oh, yeah, MLI.
Yeah. The lack of that, I don't see anybody having an organization like that to bring people up, show them how to do things. Maybe it's out there and I just don't know it.
The challenge is it is being taught from a passive, like their class is being taught from an aggressive standpoint. Our class is taught from a passive standpoint. Like, integrate into this progressive thing and we'll show you how to become a progressive. It's not pro-black, if I can explain it, if I can put it in a better word. It's like they're training us to be neutered as compared to training us to be aggressive in the space, is my estimation. It's like the people training black people now are training them through the lens of how to be palatable to white people, as compared to embracing the fullness of our blackness and saying, we got this. And there are attempts at it. The challenge just becomes that we don't have any warriors who can really show it happening. Like with the MLI, they could show what they took. They could show we got 10 schools. They could show we got all of these things in city government. We got all of these things in county government. All of these people have bowed down to us. All of the black leaders, all the white leaders, everybody is like, we don't want no smoke. All the black training is to train you to be better in their, to make you comfortable when you go to their meetings.
Mm-hmm.
The training for black people comes from quote unquote progressives who are not pro-black. They're pro-Black Lives Matter, but they're not pro-black. And that is where our training base comes from. It's something I was talking about that I guess I'm going to have to get into, because we're coming up on a season of war, and we don't have, we're coming on a political season of war, and we do not have a lot of political warriors, not on the black side. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
If I tell them to blow, I keep that metal close. That's how we ride in Chicago.
Alderman Lopez, welcome back to the Maze Jackson Show. The mayor has a very peculiar way she's dealing with this, and I'm trying to understand, why does it seem like we're handling this with kid gloves?
The reason that she's not going after the root cause, which is gangs, the reason she's not calling out the silent enablers, as I tweeted out the other day, is because those are many of the same people that she relied on to get elected. I'm talking about the not-for-profits, those that reach out for grants and try to be the intermediaries in a community to try and bridge some of these anti-violence groups, things of that nature. These organizations that say they're trying to build bridges oftentimes are the ones that are enabling the gang lifestyle and allowing it to go unchecked and not holding accountable the individuals causing the violence in the neighborhoods. Those same partners, which she funds, which she relies on, were unceremoniously all pimping themselves out at a press conference. Ooh. Saying nobody said a word about gangs, but what they did say is that we need more money for the programs that we offer to help stop the violence. And clearly for more money to go to organizations that are working against the residents of the city of Chicago.
Alderman, how did y'all approve $37 million to go to one ward for violence prevention? $37 million? I don't think there's been a $37 million investment in anything black.
When these amendments to the budget or when these programs come before us, and I've asked the last time that these were proposed by the administration, what metrics are we using to ensure that everyone with their hand out was not still enabling gangbangers in the middle of the night? And oftentimes have intervened on behalf of gangbangers, particularly in the Latino community. When you see in other communities, like the black community, when you start doling out contracts to, say, Metropolitan Family Services, and now they're responsible for doling out to organizations to come into neighborhoods like, for example, West Englewood, contract out to organizations that have no connection to a community, build no bridges to a neighborhood, but get $300,000 to stop violence.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
I, Emmanuel Chris Welch,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
I ain't gonna hold the fact that he's an alpha against him. I'm not gonna hold the fact he came on my show with this Northwestern, but we made black history. The Illinois Speaker of the House, Mr. Emmanuel Chris Welch. Mr. Speaker, welcome to What's in It for the Black People Media. How are you today, and how does it feel to be one of the most powerful men in the state of Illinois?
I couldn't miss this opportunity to come on your show and talk about this historic moment. I've recognized exactly what this means for our people. And it was black people uniting. Women in our caucus kicked the door down. They kicked it down, but black people united and walked right through the door. In my governing, I think it's realistic for people to expect us to continue to pursue some important legislation that's going to impact black communities, because that's been my entire career. I look at things through an equity lens, a racial lens, specifically a black lens. And now that we're at the head of the table, we're going to make sure that our communities receive the much needed resources that they need.
How do we actually get to participate now?
People may doubt what you say, but they believe what you do. And I'm in a position for the first time in the history of this state to help our community. And I want you to take a look at my actions and over the course of the next few months and see the answer to that very question. Want to see what's in it for the black people? Watch my actions.
I must thank 22 strong people for insisting that happened. Please acknowledge, respect, and thank the members of the Illinois House Black Caucus. Let's give them a round of applause.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning.
Live on the line, we have the newly appointed State Senator Doris Turner. Welcome to the Mace Jackson Show. How are you, Senator Turner?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I really feel like I have arrived now that I'm on the Mace Jackson Show. It's a dream I never thought would happen. You know, in every office that I have held, I served 10 years on the Sangamon County Board, then I served 2.5 terms on the Springfield City Council. And in each one of those positions, I have never represented a district that was a majority district. But every day I've gone to work to ensure that African Americans in those districts received equitable treatment and that the legislation that I pushed was beneficial to the entire district, but beneficial to the African Americans that lived in that district, because these are people that for too long have not had a voice. When I was there and I was their voice, I wanted to make sure that everything that I did was going to move my community forward. And that's always been first and foremost in my mind, and that will continue to happen. If you look at ordinances and legislation that I have championed, drafted, and passed, you will see that thread running through there. Everything that happened with the legalization of cannabis in Springfield, I led that and came out of that with a lot of successes. And one of the things that I am most proud of that came out of that was we put the 3% municipal tax on there, but 1.5% of that money will always go to a very specific area of Springfield that is the heart of the East Side.
You mentioned cannabis, but what we've seen is that there has been no access to cannabis for black folks.
We've had to go back and do 2 fixes already. I think that everyone knew that that was going to happen. But, you know, going forward, it's one of those things that, you know, when you know what you know, you know. There'll be more eyes and ears on a lot of things. So I am very committed to that.
Mace Jackson. Mace Jackson. listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze, it's Sonia, and Ruthie, and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve on.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. XU rocks the house, man. I see you got your Xavier. Is it Xavier or Xavier?
Xavier.
Go ahead, say it. Xavier.
You know, bro.
Xavier, your mom.
I love that as a man's name.
Do you?
Xavier.
But it's Xavier. I've never heard anybody just
So
say
I,
it like that.
the Xaviers I know, trouble.
Yeah, they are.
Xavier, look at you.
I mean,
Yes,
I don't know anybody with that name that's not like something different about him.
Yeah, Xavier.
You're right. I have a student.
It's interesting, right?
I think. Does your name? What happened? Ruthie, what's that face? What y'all talking about? Did we miss something?
Yeah, we missed something.
And you said he's a student? Okay. You know they got movies about that.
No.
All right, don't get me started. I'll be talking about y'all in a minute.
No, I don't play about my babies.
Yup. That's what some
Ain't
people.
no pedals.
All right,
But you know, people who name their child Xavier, it's usually it's a Christian thing. That's what I noticed. It'll be Francis Xavier something, but something where you realize that they did this because of a Christian.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. Well,
that doesn't mean
Xavier.
their kids ain't bad though.
I mean, Xavier, right? Their kids bad. No, they bad. They bad. They be bad. All right. So that's Todd. Ruthie, you good? I see you, Ruthie. You got your is that
I
Blurple?
knew it was gonna be a little chilly in here.
It's not chilly.
Burple.
Chilly?
Yeah.
It is a
You want me to
little,
turn-
just a little nip.
Don't turn the heat on.
You know what I mean? See, I feel like we're right in a space where everybody's dressed and everybody fits.
Yep.
You don't got you ain't got your hood on.
No.
You ain't got your scarf. You ain't got.
I be trying. But I mean, listen, if you just touch the table, look how cold it is.
It's not cold.
You
But
don't think so?
this is what happens in workplaces. Our bodies are different, male and females. You guys like cooler.
So
we
this is
get
what happens
cold
in my
faster.
house.
You see what I'm saying?
And then what you do? Make them turn the air
But
on.
in the workplace, they oblige the man.
No, Janine rules the heater.
Good.
She doesn't believe in it, and I'm like, "What's freezing in here?"
She from Nolans. She be like, she probably looks
Turn
at the
the
bill.
oven on, Todd.
No,
turn on the oven.
no,
Oh no!
she had 2 kids. That's what changes. Now she walk out the door and it's 30 degrees without a coat, and I'm like, "Whoa!"
Oh, I do that too.
Well, no, you don't. You walk to the car in the garage.
I like it cold though.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that.
All right, Esco. But what you say, Esco? You what?
I like it cold.
You like it cold? Yeah, I know. We be noticing. Sonya be around here like she be like, "Yep,
Fan on.
that fan." It be. I thought it was for the Beyonce effect. It's just because you hot. You know, Sonya. That made me think of that. Y'all ever see that commercial of that girl where it's like she blowing in the wind and everything, and then the camera pulls back and it's her brother holding the fan. Social media is a beast, man. Social media is a beast. All right, You know what? Good morning, everybody. This is the Mace Jackson Show. You can catch us every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. I did not open up the phone lines, but I am going to open them up a little bit later on today, probably at 7:30, because I'd like to hear from you. So yesterday we tickled this subject, but I felt like this was right up Ruthie Moore's lane. You like, I got to look at my paper.
Let me look at my paper.
And so I saved the conversation, not really because of you. I really had a tirade, so I missed it. But I said that for all intents and purposes, it would be good for us to have this conversation. Ruthie, did you see? You're laughing. But you know why? Because this is right up your lane. And when I read this story, I straight up, the first thing I thought about was you. Because you talk about all of this stuff. I just remember you being like, I'm not on social media, my data, and everybody can see, and they see.
That is not how I sound.
And they be. That is not how I say. Okay, I can do it. I was trying not to. I'm right. But Ruthie, our illustrious mayor, has been hacked. She has been hacked, and they are saying that they are asking for ransom for the emails. She refused to pay, and they went to the dark web and released a treasure trove of information.
They wanted money?
Yeah.
Called ransomware.
Wow.
So let me tell you. Check this out. So when they did not, they went to the dark web and released 50,000 documents and 750,000 images. That's almost 1 million joints that they released. Now, right now, the reporters are combing through every single stitch of it. And you can imagine that if they got this, then they got way more, would be my guess. Right? This was, they said this was in direct response to the Adam Toledo shooting. And these are the documents between Mayor Lori Lightfoot and Jones Day, the law firm that she hired to investigate the Anjanette Young shooting. Anjanette Young rape. They are saying that it was a Russian group that hacked it named Klopp. Klopp then hacked it and released and asked for the ransom. When the ransom was not delivered, then a cyber group called Distributed Denial of Secrets, which is similar to, what's old boy? What was it? WikiLeaks.
Him.
Which was similar to a WikiLeaks type of deal. Released it. Now, the mayor's saying that it was an extortion plot.
Sounds like.
They're saying that it was a direct response to the Adam Toledo situation. Ruthie, comment.
I can't wait. No, well, when I first, I think it's very telling how quiet everything is surrounding this, and how the mayor was tried to sow seeds of doubt on the validity and said, reporters, if you're going to use this, just know that it's not a credible source. Which likely means that it is probably a very credible source. So I think the best move would have been just to keep it a little bit more. They tried to keep it as hush-hush as possible, I think. But once the media, the investigative journalists start to find nice stories, I put nice in quotes, once they start finding stories from the material, I think it's over with.
When you say you think it's over with?
I mean, because, I do think that the mayor and the mayor's people, they've been operating.
Get this. Hold it. Get your paws ready. Everybody record. Wait, where's my phone? Hold it. I got to get this one.
You gonna make me forget what I was going to say.
No, go ahead. Say it.
The mayor and the mayor's people have been operating in a way that that is very litigious. So, they operate within they haven't adjusted to this new anything goes FYONDA nobody cares about, this gag order. Like, we are living in a world where people don't care about the legal parameters that have been used to protect people like the mayor and the mayor's people. And so this leak is absolutely horrible because they probably would have never fathomed that it could happen. So their communications and stuff were probably not based on the thought that this is going to eventually be leaked and hacked and FOIA'd. Because remember, the mayor, she like, y'all ain't FOIA in this, but the people was like, yes, we are. And so I think we're going to see some interesting banter, just like we did with the scotch and the cigars. So I'm excited to see how they've been communicating and emailing each other. But I think the lesson here is that if you work in government, if you work in any of these places, the world has changed. You better email like your emails are going to be hacked and leaked in about 5 to 10 years. And so that's the way you got to operate. If it's something you don't want people to know, you probably shouldn't put it in writing. And you better hope that the person next to you ain't wearing a wire, because that's how people rocking these days. But ain't nothing secret. So if you got a good government job and you have to send private emails, maybe check your banter, because the hackers are out.
Hey, check this out, right? The challenge now is, Ruthie, you so dead on, because they talking, and I bet they think that the emails are attorney-client privilege.
Yep.
And so in that,
Yeah, they probably are.
They are. However, there is actually written documents, right? Like, so this is going to be real interesting, to say the least.
Russian?
So, right. So the mayor said that the Russians were responsible for hacking this. Now, I got to ask the question.
Drink vodka.
Who in Russia really wants to blackmail the mayor?
How did she get on the radar? Maybe CNN.
I think Sonia's right. She's been drinking Polish vodka, and they're really upset about this.
Hold on. Well,
I got a whole conspiracy theory, but I'm gonna go for you, Ruthie.
Okay, so my conspiracy theory.
You better steal it. You about to steal mine. You about to steal mine. Go ahead.
Okay, so I feel like. Okay, so possibly it's all connected to.
Yes, I know it. Go ahead.
What you about to say?
No,
you
go first.
You
didn't even say that yet. You go first.
Okay, so I don't know. I might be going way too deep with this, y'all. But I think it might be connected to the cartels.
Oh no!
What you think, man?
The cartels.
So the Mexican cartels. Y'all already see how they got ties in China. So you already know if they got ties in China, they got ties in Russia. This is strictly my opinion.
Okay.
And they got ties in China. I think they got ties in Russia. And I think that Chicago is truly a connecting hub for a lot of different things. Chicago is literally it's a distribution point, like to the rest of the world. And I think that the mayor is person non grata, like in a lot of different circles, a lot of different places. And I think we can all pretty much see that this is a concerted effort to really take down this administration in a lot of, through the depths. And I think that the hackers probably, think about it, they said it was in response to Adam Toledo, but what they released was about Anjanette Young. So they covering the basis for the blacks, they covering the basis for the Latinos, and they like, here y'all go. Here's the treasure trove. And so it seems like some powers that be are working to expose something. Now, my real thing to wonder is within the database of the emails, how searchable is it? Because if it's searchable, like the WikiLeaks stuff, you can literally go in and type in keywords. So it might behoove some people to go in and type your name in, to type in certain keywords that you might be interested.
Now you really.
I'm just trying to make it accessible.
Ruthie, I was trying to do that myself, so you can't be having them so they can scrub it out early. You didn't went too far.
Let's have a data party.
Let's
just go through the stuff.
I'll pay, man. If we could do it, then I got the.
All you need is keywords.
I got 10 on it. Check this.
I'm gonna go look for your name, Maze.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. They'd be like,
"You gonna find mine?"
No.
So here's what I think. I do think that what we're seeing is the mayor is under all-out attack. I don't believe I think you're right in that part. I do not believe that it is a cartels. I believe that she has offended and taken on people that have for years had every tool in the tool book, from wiretaps to video surveillance to everything, and the ability to use it. Now, I think that this hack creates the information highway that allows information that nobody had a way to share credibly to share. So, to me, I think back to the explosive rumor mill that was going around a few weeks ago about all of the information. And remember, part of the information, as we were having conversations, it seemed to me that people knew that the information may have existed, but there was, remember, you will be sued, you will be, if any of you go with whatever. And I also recall a conversation that we had, who shall remain nameless, who credibly alluded to the fact that a lot of the stuff that we were talking about existed. But because of NDAs, because of all types of other things,
legal maneuvers,
job security, etc., that information could not be shared. Now, as you start to keyword on the dark web and you keyword across video, audio, communications between the police department and the mayor, right? Because I gotta say that, if you inside, you ain't just taking one pack. You taking the whole thing. Now, the mayor has stonewalled. She said, I will not be answering any additional questions on this.
Yeah, she better.
No. First of all, should we be concerned as Chicago citizens that we have a cyber problem?
Yes.
So understanding that, how can we not talk about it again?
Because that is the way that you try to quell this.
But Ruthie,
think about it. Think about if the city of Chicago had a major data breach.
But I'm saying, shouldn't the alderman know how far and extensive this data breach has gone?
Right.
Shouldn't there be a call for hearings to find out? Who's the chief technology? I'm just saying, if they can hack into the mayor's emails, it seems like they can get everybody's water bill, everybody's ticket history, everything that you've ever transacted with the city, my credit card numbers. It seems to me like right now we need a full-on investigation about the cybersecurity safety of the city of Chicago. And if we are going to put that to the side because it may be embarrassing to the mayor.
No, they don't want to call. It's the same reason why they told us not to wear masks in the beginning of the pandemic, because they ain't want everybody going out buying up all the masks. They ain't want to freak people out.
Ruthie,
this is the same strategy. Y'all know how governments move. They number one thing is not freaking people out.
Todd, emails hacked, released on the dark web. Tell me what you think. What's going on?
I just think she doesn't want to talk about her personal emails. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff happening behind the scenes in that technical space, but she doesn't want them asking her every question about, well, on some you do emails.
But Todd,
who wants to do that?
But who wants to do? But do you have a responsibility? Like, I don't think anybody. You signed up for the big pants.
There is.
You did. You put on the big girl draws.
A right
she
to
got
private.
bloomers.
Man, how did I know that was going to come up eventually? But anyway, she has the right to some privacy. I don't like looking into people's private affairs. That's not my business. I don't. If I want to see that, then I'll get on the internet and pay some money and see something that I shouldn't be watching or something.
One thing I always wonder is, what's the line between a whistleblower and a
a theft or
a theft.
Well, a
what's the
whistleblower
line?
means that there's something illegal going on.
I think that what we've done right now,
a jerk is somebody that says, "Ooh, I know Maze did this."
Ooh. or it's politics. Ask Mike Madigan.
Politics can be jerkish too.
And herein is the point.
Mm-hmm.
Politics has, in my estimation, just crossed another line. It's just crossed another. We've entered into a whole new space. Now, if this is
going to
Russia,
be bigger than politics. If they can do this, then they're going to start doing it to just everybody under the sun.
They already been doing it
with money.
We've been here. We have been here.
But I'm suggesting, right? So it's funny that we talk about this because I read an article about this in Brazil about 10 years ago. Right when I got into lobbying and they were talking about the use of the dark web and how people were using it to manipulate, to get information, to be able to blackmail candidates, to do all of these different things. And I do think that we've seen inklings of it, right? Whether it was the Russians and whatever. And I'm gonna say that they said that the Russians hacked the election of 20 when whatever that Barack Obama, the Trump election was in Illinois, right? I think I have one or two premises. One, like I said before, this is the open portal for the information flow that they have access to come out. I would argue that probably throughout the mayors, and I don't know what their staff is, but I would tell you that we know that there are some very crafty people in city council. Crafty. We also know that there are...
You're talking alderman?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we know there are some very, very crafty aldermen who have always been known to utilize information. One of the things that I learned from the Green Team at a retreat was one of the reasons that they worked closely, like they wanted to control the police department was because of Vice, right? Like you laugh.
Now this sounds like Godfather 2.
However, because the Vice, they had wiretaps, they had and they could find your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that this is the opening of the information highway through which a tremendous amount of information that will be tremendously damaging will be flowed through.
Of course. If you don't think that your casual communications, like you think that that's private, and we already know from the Scotch and cigar leak that they have pretty casual conversations. And I want to just say that think about why Hillary Clinton kept that private server for their family. Because of stuff like this. Because they already was knowing. There ain't nothing private no more. Nothing.
I mean, you think about, we just saw, they said that Donald Trump subpoenaed all the phone records of the Washington Post reporters and had the Justice Department get it. Now, I think that we have this thought that there are these invisible barriers that no one will cross. Like that, I think that
I never felt that about.
No, data is the new war. It's the new warfare.
Information has always been power,
and so understanding that, I just think we've entered a new political field of battle.
You know what? If you think about this from a national security perspective, we in trouble. We are in trouble because if they already saying, okay, this is the Russians. Like, which I don't,
This ain't the Russians. What the Russians care about? What do the Russians care about Anjanette Young? Like the Russians was like, we will turn over to American government.
I told you the connection. It's the Russians and the cartels. I'm trying to tell you.
We will take over the Americans by putting on the mayor and her proclivities on the display, and we will have the screaming black woman, and they will all revolt.
But you know what? Since it was ransomware, I do think that they could have been really seeking a payday. Like I do think that's
you
really
think she
how this
paid?
came about. We don't negotiate with terrorists.
Okay. She like, I'm already getting up out of here in 2 years anyway. What else y'all gonna say? Hey, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll talk about it some more. Hey, also want to let you know, Alderman David Moore, candidate for Secretary of State, will be joining us via video at 8 o'clock. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
And we need you to like,
comment,
and share
that thing
every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
What about my love? Seems you have forgotten love. I do believe that something went wrong somewhere. What about my feelings? Do they mean anything at all? You got me so in love, I'm too blind to see. Now that you got my love, now you wanna put me down. Now that you got my love, got me standing on shaky ground. What about it, baby?
Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Before you leave out the door, before you leave out the door, baby, won't you change your mind? Really wish you would change your mind. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, you got me standing on shaky ground. Now that you got my love, you don't come around. Now that you got all my love, you got me standing on shaky ground. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Oh my! I had a conversation with her. This is how it went. Before you leave out the door, before you leave out the door, baby, won't you change your mind? Oh, Lord have mercy. 'Cause I need you and you need me. I know we can be happy. Just wait and see. Baby, won't you change your mind? I'll do better if you change your mind. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, got me standing on shaky. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, you got me standing on shaky ground. Baby, won't you change your mind? Baby, won't you change your mind? Oh no, I've been hoping, baby. I've been praying, baby. Yes, I have. Baby, won't you change your mind? Oh no. I've been hoping, baby. Yeah. I've been praying down on my knees, praying that you change your mind. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'll do better if you change your mind.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Baby, won't you change your mind?
I'll do better.
I do better if you
Man,
change. Dante Hall, man, I'm
Better
telling you. Dante Brown Liquor Hall.
Brown liquor.
Brown liquor. You be, man, I can see the old ladies at the lounge. Baby, won't you change your mind? You know the big girls doing the bump. Boom. Remember the bump?
Of course.
Did you ever do the bump? Do you remember the bump?
Of course.
What you know about the bump? You remember when I got pictures from me doing the bump when I was a little kid. Don't
The bump and the twist will last forever.
Not the
the
twist.
twist.
The twist will last forever
Come on, baby.
because it's so easy.
Let's do the twist.
Yeah, I did it for a talent show. in
Come
fourth
on,
grade.
baby. Let's do the. I like wop baba loo bop a wop bam boom to the fruit. That's not the twist though, huh?
No,
Same thing.
no, it's not the same thing. Chubby Checker and Little Richard are
It's not the
different.
same thing, Ruthie.
Come on, know your black history, man.
That's right. Know your black history.
What about this one? I lost my thrills dum, 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 on Blueberry Hill.
Actually, Fats Domino was bigger than Chubby Checker and Little Richard.
Really? Fats Domino? on Blueberry. Yeah, I remember him from Happy Days.
Happy Days.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. A Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. A Thursday, Friday, happy days. What is it? The weekend comes. I forgot it.
You know, in the beginning, they didn't use that. They didn't have a theme. They had a theme song, but it wasn't written for them. They used Rock Around the Clock.
Yeah, I remember that. And they played the record.
Yeah,
and
right.
it was like the record came on and it was spinning around. And it was like,
it was clever the way they did it, yeah.
I like that part when you play the records and they're like,
yeah.
They don't do that no more. Ruthie don't even know what we talking about.
Yes, I do.
No,
I got a record player.
You got a record. She got a USB
was
record player. You got a USB record player. She like it play with my iPhone.
That's funny.
Man, I went to go buy a record the other day though. Do you know records are like $40? Like a piece of like you want to buy Purple Rain? It's like $40.
Well, no. You can't use Purple Rain because everything Prince did was more expensive than the regular.
Okay, so just buy the record. Just for the record, I don't know who sent me this. I think Tiger sent me this. Did y'all see the video of the dude on TikTok doing the words to Prince's song "Incest"?
Mm-mm.
Okay, guys.
So
yeah,
I don't.
Okay, guys.
I would listen to that.
You couldn't. I mean, Tiger. You know, it's like it's too late. You seen it.
Oh, right. You can't get it out now.
But it's like the words to the song. Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you see? And then you be thinking about now it's the lady who got the estate. I mean, the song is pretty brutal. It was just, I was like, wow. Like yeah. Anyway, shout out to Prince.
One of those songs hidden in the album, I guess.
It was not hidden. I remember.
You remember that?
I remember it, but I remember it, but not, you know, there used to be Prince. There was a whole level of Prince songs that you just be right, and you did the Prince song, right, and it'd be like delirious. I could, but it was a bunch of Prince songs. You'd be like me, my mama, and my daddy, and my me, right. So, I think that was one of them songs that fit in the category where you never read the album notes and read the words. But it was like, I mean,
Prince was very
like this. That you know what?
Yes.
Well, we need to they need to break that. That's a topic that they need to put on WeCo Wednesdays. We go Wednesdays. Like we go. Like we go Wednesdays. We go Wednesdays. They need to talk about that song because that was just too because we can't let them do it because they'll go too far with it and the next thing you know they'll be okay. So we're at a unique time and place in the Black community right now, and I am talking about there is rapidly becoming a power vacuum. I think we're seeing it in the mayor's office. Very shortly, we'll be talking to Alderman David Moore, who is running for Secretary of State. We're seeing it in the Secretary of State's office. I don't know what's going to happen at the county, but I believe the president is, like, if she ran again, she'd be approaching 80 by the time she finished the term.
I believe you're right.
Right? And I'm starting to feel like we need to this isn't a diss to anybody, but I am starting to feel like we are passive in an aggressive world right now. And we need to become more aggressive. Right now, there is a vacuum at City Hall. She's lost almost her entire complete cabinet. Mm-hmm. They got to restock that cabinet. How do Black people
Hennessy
see, Todd, that shows your lack of class and knowledge. Because if you drink Hennessy, then how do you drink Irish cognac?
That's not a thing?
Irish cognac. Like if you drink cognac, it's from Cognac, France.
I thought it was a thing, Hennessy.
It is a thing. It's the Negro thing.
Oh.
They be like, oh, we got the black people. Give them Hennessy. Black people be like, I'm a Hennessy drinker. They be swell. I'll be like, and the people in France be like, oh, peasants.
Oh. I learned something today on this show.
Irish
Peasants.
the Irish cognac. Imagine the thought. We'll drink the King Louis. Anyway, I was thinking about our willingness to concede power to everybody but our own selves. Like, I was thinking about, we got a mayor's race coming up, right? I almost feel like we've already conceded that to white folks, right? Like, the white boys are already chopping up the Negroes.
Well, nobody's mentioned any black folks yet.
That's a good point.
That's the point. But that's the point, though. Because if we've already given up the ghost because we can't see the greatness in ourselves, you trying to tell me in Chicago there's nobody black that could be capable of being mayor? Are you telling me that in Chicago there's no one black that's capable of filling those cabinet positions? Are you telling me that in this Chicago, in this ADOS capital of the world, that we have to concede our greatness to white people?
Well, hasn't it been that way, it seemed like, forever? And no one seems to want to change it. I mean, even with that last guy, Mayor Emanuel, when it came out that his cabinet, I mean, not cabinet, but the mayor's office had 17% black workers, and the city's like 38%. And what's he say? He says, I got to hire the most capable people. Well, if that's the case, it should be like 80% black.
Come on, say it again, Todd.
But if we don't believe it, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, name a black person in Chicago that black people would support for something.
That's
for
a good
mayor?
question. For
Period.
anything.
No, I'm just saying for anything. Like, I'm just saying, like, real talk. I am looking at the power dynamic right now. And one of the things that I have learned in war is that if you can create a sense of inevitability, the war is already won. So one of the things that we do in politics is we try to create a scenario where we say you can't win. There's nobody that, like, you create what you want to create on the other side of the line is the fear of inevitability, the sense of inevitability.
The inevitability
right?
of your loss.
The inevitability that we can't, we don't, we have nothing, we don't have the best to offer because we don't have the money, we don't. So it's all of it, right? And I was thinking about, like, all of the times that we've had these surprising races where, again, I would tell you that I have been sold oftentimes on who got the most money, who's the white candidate with the most relationships, because we ain't got no black folks. And I am suggesting that right now, in all of our levels, right? All of them. We are not putting our people to the forefront. We have conceded our space in this place. And I believe that right now we are looking at a possibility of an overturn. And I don't know if we're best served going backwards. Right? I don't know if we're best served going. Todd, there's a fire sale at City Hall right now, right? There's going to be a fire sale because there's going to be one or two things. The mayor's going to do everything that she can to stay, or she's going to be like, I'm out of here, so I'm going to be passing everything out. Will we be able to take advantage of either of those situations?
I'm not so sure she'll be like, I'm leaving, so I'm passing things out. She might be, I'm leaving, and I'm not going to do nothing. So again, my question becomes, who are we putting in these positions? Like, who's going to be the new head of Streets and Sand? Will we allow it to be somebody Latino? Yeah, I don't even know.
Do you remember the last time that happened?
I used to say.
Remember HDO? Remember?
Well, I used to say there's a ladder that people generally, move up, but I don't know if she follows those rules.
Right. No, because she's going to find somebody from. Because first of all, the fact is, I don't think that she's going to be able. She still has not got anyone in her cabinet that anyone cares about.
Right.
Right? Like, she doesn't have anybody that they pick up the phone and you call and they be like, I need you to be with me, man. I know she crazy, but no, really.
No, she's got Lego pieces.
She has
easily exchangeable.
Easily exchangeable because they don't have any connection to anything else.
No.
So I gotta ask us, what is our power plan? Like, and this goes more to how do we view ourselves in this political dynasty? Are we going to be victims? I see two said, give me a candidate. I really can't tell you right now what candidate. I don't know who it is, her board too. I saw you say put up some names on the board, and I'm suggesting that maybe we should. We ain't gonna put them up here. But I think the moment that we concede to white folks that there is no capable black person, then that sense of inevitability, and anybody that's pushing that sense of inevitability is really working against our self-interest. Like, you don't give up the ghost at the beginning of the race.
No.
Because then they we already got the Negroes. We don't have any negotiating chips.
There's a value in a fight, to be honest with you.
Exactly. And so
even if Mays hits me in the nose, I'm still going to try to hit him in the knee. And he may break my nose and then kick me in the stomach. But I'm like, man, I got him in that knee.
So I challenge us. If the answer is that we got to go with a white boy, right? Then what do we see in ourselves? And if we're saying that there are none of us that are capable besides a white boy, right? Now, I'm not now make political decisions all day. Be a strategist all day long. But don't put in the minds of black folks the sense of inevitability, because that's what they want. They need us to be like, we're not capable. They need us. They need our credible voices to be telling us we ain't got it.
Right.
Instead of us saying, yo, who do we have and who do we elevate? See, it's like we can't talk about white supremacy from the standpoint of, we can't talk about it from that standpoint and then give it up to them in the same space. We're operating in their paradigm. Is that what it would be?
I feel like you said we can't give it up. We not a we. And that's the challenge. I think that's the difference.
That's the biggest challenge right there.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, Ruthie.
But again, but to me, this is where this is part of the whole we. Now, I'm going to say this. We have been fractured and we have been separated, and white folks have been smart enough to recognize those fractions and separations and foster them. And they pick which Negroes that they're going to pick that they believe will be the best messengers into our space. Let's be political, and I'm not tripping on politics. But if we're going to do right by our people, we're not going to play the inevitability game for white folks. We can't do that. We just can't.
Well, see, I think that's the conversation. Because if we can't get over that, then we can't get to the part where you talking about, where's we, like the we. Until we get to the we, then I think we just screwed, honestly.
This may not be a popular thing to say, but in the fight with the 29 and the 21, once the 29 knew they lost, they didn't give up the group. They still kept going. And then they got some things out of it. Being together, like Ruthie saying, has value. And hitting Mays in the knee has value. Because the next time we fight, Mays is like, I'm going to have to protect that knee.
And you're right. And now my self-esteem of knowing that, okay, I couldn't slay Goliath on that one, but we got him in the knee. So next time we going to go for the jugular.
Yes.
So I think that we are not a we. Well, I'm not gonna say that. We
getting there.
We are a we. Right here. Let me start with the 300 we's of the morning that are on that tune into the Maze Jackson show. I'm not gonna start with nothing bigger than that. That's a we. Mm-hmm. And whether anyone recognizes it or not, that we have is probably one of the most influential groups of we in the state, in the city, in black community. Because the we that tunes into here, this network in general, is in tune with the collective we. Hence, what's in it for the black people? That's the we. So I'm not going to buy into there is no we. Now, we need to grow the we, and the we needs to get bigger, but we also have to recognize that was what last week was. The last week was the biggest we ain't we's saying, okay, they kicking our butts. I don't necessarily always agree with Tyrone, Mark, definitely don't always agree with Obadeli and Vaughn. But let me tell you what won't happen. What won't happen is we aren't going to minimize we. We've decided that we collectively, it does me no good to minimize those brothers because they have a sphere of influence. And I just caution us in this moment of time where everybody recognizes that we're in the catbird seat if we don't recognize that we're in the catbird seat. If we don't recognize our power in this situation. Because I'm going to tell you, we really don't have it politically. Now, we may have all these other things, but right now we're in a climate of political shift. And if we give up our power to white people without any challenge, if we concede, like y'all trying to tell me that in the space of everything that's happened in Chicago, the best we can come up with is a white boy? That's the best we got. That's the best Black Chicago has to offer. In the home of Ados, the capital of the world.
Think about what we value money. And if you value money,
it's a capitalistic society. Yeah,
because so that's how our minds work. Is we equate money and power together. So, and we know that black people, we ain't got no money. So does that mean that we don't have power?
No.
Well, exactly. But in the context of how we've been conditioned to think, we equate the two things together. So we have to shift our minds.
Let me put you. How it go? Wait, until you understand white supremacy. how you do it? How that go? Get the quote from me, right? It's like we can't play the game we talking about. It's the Maze Jackson.
Understand white supremacy, what it is, and how it works. Everything else that you understand, I drop the think. Everything else that you understand, that you do understand, will confuse you.
This is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the tax credit scholarship program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
And you can tell them, May said, we want to know what's in it for the black people. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning.
The Fraternal Order of Police. It is the president, John J. Catanzara Jr.
We all saw the Anjanette Young video.
Naturally, when someone hears, I didn't do it, you got the wrong place, you just discard it. You have an obligation to make sure that the rest of the place that you're doing a search warrant on is secure.
Okay, so you used the word naturally. And when you watch that video, naturally, a natural reaction would have been to provide her with
some coverage for her naked body.
Have you ever been to police?
And so,
have you ever been to police?
Let me finish my question. So a natural reaction was not what we saw from those white police officers.
A natural police reaction
So say
is to
that.
secure the scene.
So a natural police reaction is different from a natural
Well, we're
human
talking about
reaction.
police. We're not talking about you going into a building. We're talking about the police going into a building.
Hence why in the beginning of the question, I related it to training. Are police officers trained to not see black people as human? And so police training would make them naturally react to see me as an animal?
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer because that's just an ignorant statement to make. They went in there looking for an offender.
Who was not there.
Do you know that until you searched the whole place?
They did. They searched and she stood there naked.
And at that point,
After they had the scene secure, she still stood there naked.
Again, I already conceded the fact that they could have did a better job covering her up, but her race had nothing to do with it, and you're going to keep implying it. I'm going to keep telling you you're absolutely wrong.
Is it a lack of training? Is it a lack of proper training?
No.
I keep telling you, you got the wrong place. You got the wrong place.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. We will kill you for our woman.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
Motivated by the days, the sandwiches of spam. Grilled cheese won't stop me from grilling those who are stealing the peace and safety of the community because they releasing death and destruction on the community. A community where the people look like me and them. A place where mama and them stay. Not too far from where their children stay. You right. I want a peaceful neighborhood, and I'm not moving to the suburbs to have a peaceful neighborhood. Do we really have to take this, acting like we don't recognize this, still cooperate with this? You know what? The hell with this. Ram me behind a mic that's shaped like a middle finger. Pointing straight up with my middle finger to any poor politician, dealer of death, crooked cop, or lazy parent. It's apparent to create change, you have to have a work ethic that make it seem like you lost your brain, standing out like the Willis Tower. It's a brother that represents dedication, discipline, and dream reaching, accompanied by a voice called power. Who rhyming harder than a rebel with the pen? Representing the city of Point Guards is an extra large MC who rhymes always on point, always rhyming with a point behind the flow. One of my students said the rhyme so hard we should stop calling it flow. Let me tell you something else before I go. I was born to stand tall. I was born in Chicago.
That is Brother William Morris. Appreciate you, brother. Much love. Chicago, homegrown. Every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? If you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Look at Ruthie getting sound effects on. So, all right. Ruthie Moore in the building. Sonia Escobar. Hey, yo, it's the Maze Jackson Show. And we got to get on our good behavior because we got a special guest tuning in, coming on with us today. Now, I don't, some days he a preacher. So Alderman David Moore might be one of the most spiritual people I know. But he also, if you was watching them hearings last week, he forgot, you know how the saints be doing sometimes. They be, Lord, forgive me for this. Because I got I almost felt like last week, Alderman David Moore, remember that video when dude said, hold my, when he was fighting for the DuSable Expressway and they was trying to switch it up on him. Alderman Moore was like, normally I don't do this, but listen, filth, and flying. I was like, boy, if Reverend Evans would have heard you right now.
He brought me through, but he ain't brought me out.
He brought me through, but he ain't brought me out. But I tell you what, whenever there are issues that are impacting the black community, we can always count on this alderman to speak up. Matter of fact, first time I ever heard the words, what's in it for the black people, on the floor of city council came from Alderman David Moore. And I'm going to just tell y'all, Alderman Moore is one of the few people that does not publicly try and avoid me in the political world. And quite frankly, when he was about to make this decision or make this announcement, we sat down and had a nice conversation about his game plan. And so I said, when you make your announcement, you make sure that you come on the Maze Jackson Show and tell us. Now, I'm a little offended that we wasn't invited down to where's Western at? What's that school? Where's Western?
Ain't it in Macomb?
Macomb. But don't nobody, it is Macomb though. It ain't like U of I. And he probably didn't invite me because I was talking smack when we was down at the state championships and Simeon cheated Bolingbrook Raiders out of our chance at state glory. But I'm going to tell you what, if there's somebody that when it's time to fight for black issues on the city council floor, in front of a construction site, or in his day-to-day walk, it is Alderman of the 17th Ward, David Moore. Alderman Moore, welcome to the Maze Jackson Show. Welcome back to the Maze Jackson Show because you was here yesterday. How you feeling, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. But I'm going to let you do the camera. I was messing you up. I'm sorry.
All right. So Alderman Moore, you got a lot going on, but I need you to do me a favor. And can you turn that volume down just a little bit? Alderman Moore, you
said you want me to turn my volume down?
Yeah. Turn your volume on your computer down. You don't got headphones, do you?
No, I don't have any headphones.
Okay. So that's all right. We're going to rock it. Don't worry about it. Alderman, you just announced this Saturday that you are running for the office of Secretary of State. Man, what in the heck has gotten into your mind that got you running for the Secretary of State? You are the city of Chicago alderman. What's going to make you make that big jump?
You know what, Maze? I'm glad you asked that question because it's two questions. A part of that is one you just asked, which is the most legitimate one that everybody should answer, and that is what got you into this race, and then two, why are you running then? Because you can get into the race for various different reasons. Some people are getting in because they want to use it as a stepping stone for another position, and then they'll tell you then why they're running. Some people are getting in because they feel that, this should be a black seat. And then after that, they'll tell you why they're running. Me, I'm in it. And the reason why I got in it is because it was a calling on me. One thing people know about me, I don't shy away from God. I do not move without God telling me to. Even before I became alderman, I ran from this position. I tell people there's two people I keep my eyes on. Anybody saying they want to be a preacher and anybody saying they want to be an elected official. That's not something you run to, it's something you run from. But it's a calling on your life, and you accept that calling. So once you accept that calling, then you have to say, okay, why are you accepting it? What's the purpose, and how you're going to add value to that call that you accepted? So I just answered your first question, is what got me into that calling on my life, and I'm moving in that direction.
Okay. So Alderman, this is a big race. This is statewide. You have run for alderman. You've been successful. You ran twice, or you ran once and then you were appointed and then ran? How many times have you run?
No, never been appointed.
That's right. I heard that. That's right. You
no,
went and got
actually ran against the if you want to say the established powers to be. So ran twice and won.
Alderman, let me back you up, because a lot of people don't know about your background politically, and it's interesting because you have an interesting political background. Give us the short story, because you didn't start out as always a political candidate. You actually were behind the scenes at one point.
Absolutely, and preferred being behind the scenes. I started at a very early age when I was 11 years old. I've worked with every alderman in the 17th Ward since I was 11, from Bill Shannon all the way up to Latasha Thomas. And I've served as a precinct captain. First started out as not just, but which I think is important, as a block club president, taking care of my block. And then also then raised to a precinct captain, then what we call a coordinator. You're a coordinator over like 5 captains, then all the way up to director of field operations within the 17th Ward Democratic Organization, helping others win races and get on the ballot and running other people's campaigns.
Alderman, so now you're running for a statewide position.
Yes.
The Secretary of State, which is held by Jesse White, who has to be not one of the most popular politicians in the state, but in the country and in the world. How do you think that you could, let me back up. Have you talked to him about your desire to run for this position? And what did he tell you?
Thank you so much. Absolutely. There's no way I would have announced without sitting before him. Everybody in that race, Mays, I was the only one in 1998 circulating petitions and getting out there and helping on Jesse White's campaign. I can tell you that for a fact. And I'm gonna show the pictures to prove them, because we took pictures, but I wasn't interested in taking pictures back then. But it just happens when you're on the campaign trail. And so, and with that, since 1999, Secretary White, he's been a great servant, a great ambassador for Illinois, and definitely a great role model for us, and definitely many of the youth and young adults. And so I definitely had the privilege of sitting down and talking with him, and we had a good conversation. So much so, I'm gonna tell you, I was impressed. You know why I was impressed, Mays? When you're telling people about your endeavors, he listened to my whole testimony about getting into this race. We talked about what we're going to do, but then somebody came in and said, Mr. White, you got another meeting. Now, when a person don't want to listen to you and they got another meeting, what do, Mays? They're like, okay, I got to go, right? The guy came in there, you got another meeting. He said, okay, I'll be with you. Give me a moment. Then he listened like for another 30 minutes we talked. Then the guy came back, we got to get you going. He said, okay, I'm wrapping up. You know how that made me feel, Mays? He could have brushed me out of there, and that's the testament to his character and his integrity and the man that he is when he thinks he sees somebody that has potential. And so I appreciate that.
So Alderman, I got to put the $1 million question up here, because I feel some kind of way about this transition process. I was always under the impression that I'm gonna have to turn this up because I can barely hear you. You stepped away from the mic or something.
Oh,
okay. I feel a certain kind of way about this position because a very dear friend of mine was, in my estimation, supposed to get the spot. That did not work that way. Talk to me about really the transition? And have you and Alderman Burnett talked at all?
I called Alderman Burnett and told him I needed about an hour with him. He was going to call me back, and we never got the chance to talk before I made my announcement because I wanted to talk to him before I made my announcement. But let me tell you this, and I agree with you. Almost 2 years ago, I went to Walter Burnett. We were sitting outside of waiting for a briefing at City Hall, and I think Secretary White had just announced or recently announced that he may not be running again. I went up to him personally, and he'll tell you, and I said, if you decide to run or if you get appointed, I'm going to be with you. I want to support you for this seat. I say you deserve it, because one thing I do believe in commitment and loyalty in this business, and he's been very committed and loyal to the secretary. And he said, we'll keep you posted. And many of us, I think no one was looking at this seat, and I told him I would support him. And then as I tell you, we talk about this, and I posted this on Facebook. When 3 times I posed the question, do people believe that God speak to you, and have you ever heard God speak to you? All of us agree, even when we're in council and we're praying, Lord, guide us. Lord, give us direction. Lord, this, Lord, that. But then when he give us the direction, we either ignore it or we say, well, that's not him speaking. Or we do say he does it. But when it comes to being in this arena, people don't believe that, or they make mockery of it. For me, it happened 3 times. I'm not going to go into that whole story. 1, when the appointment of Reverend Jenkins happened. 2, when I got the call to run for alderman, and I ran from it, but I accepted that call. And then in this situation, and one of these situations was really the called for Jahan Gordon Booth. And I'm going to be honest about that. And so much so that I went on Facebook Live and posted it in January. And in that call, it said, hey, if she don't have enough faith to run, if you ran, you would win. And so you got to accept that call. And I believe it. And I accept it. And God has already put people around me. Mays, I'm talking about Republicans, Democrats, because this is a nonpartisan.
Wait a minute. Did you say Republicans? Okay,
yes.
Alderman. Now, how are you going to be a good Democrat and you got
No,
Republicans
I'm a good
working
servant.
for you?
I'm a good servant. I've never been put in a box, and no one is ever going to put me in a box. I always stated that, and that's why I appreciate this seat of alderman. It's a nonpartisan seat. I got Republicans living in the 17th ward. I have to serve them regardless. I got people who some religions that don't vote. I have to serve them regardless, and I enjoy serving them. And that's the same way that make me want to be Secretary of State, because to me, I see this as a nonpartisan seat where you have to serve everyone, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of race and background. You have to serve them.
Now, Alderman, one of the things that I heard you say was regardless of race and background. Can you turn it? Oh, hold on. I've heard you say regardless of race and background. But I gotta ask you, Alderman, what is in it for the black people if you are elected as the Secretary of State? Because we know that the Secretary of State's office has a tremendous amount of jobs, contracts, boards, and appointments. We know that there's a lot of black jobs over there, but I have not seen black folks take full advantage of the contracting and the opportunities that are there. If there was a critique of Mr. White, in my estimation, it would be how much black business is being done out of the Secretary of State's office. How big is the budget, and how do you plan on allocating so that black people are equitable in that?
Absolutely. So, Mays, one of my points, in which I have 3, I talk about this being a servant seat. And part of that servant seat is transparency. A lot of people don't know what the Secretary of State office does. The other part of that is equity in hiring and in contracts and the services provided. That's why I'm vice chair of contracting oversight and equity. That's why my voice has been loud, making sure that we get contracts. So when you talk about a $2 billion generated in the Secretary of State office, and here's the kicker, 1.2 billion of that is allocated towards like state and road construction. Now, Where are we at in that fight? Where we're 1.2 billion. And so I have to use and raise my voice to make sure that we're getting those funds, because especially as money keep coming down from not only the federal government, which we don't see, but let's just deal with the Secretary of State office. 1.2 billion being put into that general fund to go towards roads and the contract. So we have to make sure we get a piece of that and make sure, as I've done not only at O'Hare, also on other endeavors here in Chicago, whether it's with Boyle Construction, whether it's with GMA Construction, you can ask people all down the road, who has been your leader in this thing in the city council, and they'll say Alderman David Moore.
Ruthie Moore has a question for you.
Good morning. I think we might be related because we got the same last name, but I got to check.
Absolutely.
We got to check.
Y'all better make sure, because we don't want that Prince song.
All right. So my question is, so Maze just talked about how a lot of the contracts that the Secretary of State's office is in charge of. Like, the Secretary of State's office has so many different moving parts. Which function of the job interests you the most, and which function of the job does not interest you the most?
I guess the function of the job that interests me the most is the fact that I have an accounting background. Okay, I have a degree in accounting and operations management, and that the part that interests me the most is always following the dollars. Money is money, and is the key to knowing what's being done within any department, with any agency, with any office. And so that's what excites me the most. The other one that excites me the most are youth. This office, a young person's civic duty is first started at the Secretary of State office. What are you talking about, Alderman? At 16, they get their driver's license. That's their first civic responsibility, and the power that they have to be good stewards, because if they drive crazy on the roads, they can end somebody's life. The other thing, when they're going in there and they're getting their license, even at 17, depending on when your birthday is, then you can register to vote as well, which is the other part of you being a good steward and getting involved in a civic activity. So one of the things I want to do is establish across all 122 agencies, and I want to honor him, are the Jesse White youth engagement offices. And I think we could do that at each and every agency to really give youth an access and a seat, because I do that so much at city council already, but I see that other leaders throughout the city, throughout the state, they do, or even throughout the county, do not give our youth access. And I want to continue to do that in a big way. So I think the one that least impresses me about the office, I don't say at least, it's making sure that the students understand from a historical standpoint, or people in general, not just our students, but people in general, the archive piece of our state, how important our archives are. So when we talk about what Jesse Whitehead, I think it came out about a week or so ago, when he talked about taking down the statue of Dr. Martin Luther King down there and downstate in Illinois, downstate in Springfield, because the way it portrays him, our history and how we portrayed and the information that's out there is very important. And I don't think people realize that as a whole. So I say the last is you trying to get people to understand that. But the great part about it, you know how you get people to do it? I got some kids over in the 17th Ward here now at a school. They're doing virtual reality, and they learn about some of the most, what you would think are boring things in the libraries. They make it very interesting through virtual reality. So we got to incorporate.
Alderman, let me jump in right there. I want to ask you, this is a expensive race, right? Some people estimate that this is going to cost up to $6 to $8 to $10 million, I've heard in some cases. Talk to me about your path to victory, Alderman. What is your path to victory?
Okay, first and foremost is reaching those and to those relationships that I've already had across the state. Unlike other people, I'm all Illinois. I'm all Chicago. I'm all I'm born and bred in Illinois. I went to Western Illinois University, and the reason why I announced from there, Mays, I know you pointed that out, was because that's why I learned to love Illinois. As a boy, young boy coming in Robert Taylor home and in Inglewood, all I knew was Chicago. That's all I knew was Chicago. And then when I went to Western, it opened a wide range of a world to me. I got to develop and get friends from Pekin, Illinois, from Peoria, Illinois, from O'Fallon, from downstate Decatur, all throughout the state. And a lot of those relationships I still have. And many of those people, believe it or not, Mace, are in key positions. Their fathers are in key positions. And so they've already reached out to me and said, hey, we're bringing you down. We're going to get you connected all over. And then those people, believe it or not, there's several of them are millionaires, and they have access. And I already have talked about having major fundraisers for me to help get to this rate. I pray to God and he's in it. We'll get to that 8 million, but we're going to raise some millions. I hope it's not a $7 or $8 million race, because at the end of the day, we can't keep telling our children you can be anything you want to be, but you got to have $8 million to do it. Because that's going to scare our youth and young adults off for being impactful in their communities.
Sort of about what I was talking about a little earlier in creating, when they put the number of $8 million up, they create these numbers just like they create the air that there's a sense of inevitability. If you can't raise $8 million, that you are no longer a viable candidate. And again, quite frankly, that's white supremacy preparing their image on you, right? For putting their mindset and bearing it down in your head. Alderman, I'm going to say that.
Mays, let me add this in if you don't mind. It's ironic that you said that. I didn't know that you were talking about it because I was trying to get here to get on your show, but that is so important to me. I've had other people, and the person that God put in my spirit to run, one of the first things that she said was, and I say it, Jahan Gordon Booth, because I got it out there publicly on Facebook already. She said, Alderman, I was thinking about it, but I just don't believe I can raise the funds. When you got a talented individual like that, if you got a talented individual like Ruthie, we got talented youth all around. And if money is going to stop them from effectuating change in their community, we're living in a very dangerous society when that happens. Because then guess what? You cannot be an independent voice for the causes and the people that you believe in.
Alderman, it's interesting. I got to ask you, how do you feel, being a sitting city of Chicago alderman? First of all, one of your other co-colleagues is running for the space for the slot, as well as Anna Valencia, who is also the city clerk. Do you think that the taint of Chicago will hurt you downstate? And it seems like everybody comes from Cook County. The challenge there seems like you all will be fishing in the same pool. How do you see yourself breaking out in this campaign?
I already did, Mays. That's why I announced from Macomb. That's why I learned learn to love Illinois. And so I broke out already. My relationships, I'm not just a Chicago boy. I was born and raised here, but I'm an Illinois boy. I can go to Pekin and hang out because I have friends there. I can go to Decatur. I can go to Danville. I can go throughout the state and hang out and call somebody and they say, man, that's my guy Dave from Western, or that's my guy Dave when he used to live in the Quad Cities when he worked for Ralston Purina Company. Those are real relationships, not political relationships, real relationships. And I already separated myself from that. So I don't have to be invited downstate. That's home already.
And then Alderman, I saw a great question from Ready Rock. And I know when I watched Alderman Gilbert Villegas's candidate forum, you weren't in that candidate forum, but one of the things that Anna Valencia hit on that it's gonna be tough for me. She hit on this point that I thought was really valid. Is that the Secretary of State's office has often been used as a weapon against Black people. When you talk about the suspension of licenses and the excessive raising of fines and fees as being a place that actually not only it creates a death spiral almost for people once their license gets suspended, and then it prevents them from being able to go to work. Will you advocate for the lowering of fees, fines, and taking away the Secretary of State office, realizing the disproportionate impact it has when they suspend the licenses of people that are trying to make it happen? Talk to me.
Yes, I definitely advocate for that because I deal with that as an alderman. And that's the thing about being an alderman. You get every issue from the state government because you're the first access to people. They come to you with issues from the federal government, county government, state government, and we have to deal with all of them. And that has been a critical one where, hey, I'm trying to get this job, but I can't work because my license are suspended. And so that is definitely one I would advocate for. But also what I'm hearing not only downstate, but across the county and across the city is that we don't want to continue to get fined with all these fees and all these, even for the cost of our plates. Whereas an accountant, what I'm always looking for is opportunity costs. I'm always looking for new revenue ideas. And right now, Texas is the only state in the country that does corporate advertising on license plates. And if I can have a Mays Jackson, what's in it for the Black people plate, or a Coca-Cola plate that they pay for that plate, that's new revenue that promotes them, and we can keep those prices down when you're getting your new sticker. But we also got to look at technology, and that's where these young people come in at with their bright skills and everything of doing digital license plates. And so we have to find ways to create revenue. And right now, even our seniors, you would think of all the places you go that they get at least a $5 senior discount. Right now, seniors are not getting a discount. Disabled people do, and veterans, but our seniors don't. And so when you do that, what people are going to say, how are you going to bring that revenue back? That's how we're going to bring it back through corporate advertising on license plates and creating digital plates to bring our revenues to generate that new revenue.
Alderman, last question, and then I'm going to let you go. One of the things that I have noticed painfully is that there are a tremendous amount of jobs and opportunities at the Secretary of State's office, and I will give Mr. White credit. I will give Mr. White credit for the number of families and people and places that he has put through college, brought people up. But one of the things that I do notice is that there on the 5th floor, the executive offices where the leadership is, there are few, if any, Black faces. One of the things that there seems to be a caste system somewhere in the Secretary of State's office. What would you do to address that caste system that exists?
But number one, everything comes to the point when you see that, and this is why this youth engagement office is important, Mays. And it's the same thing whether it's even at City Hall. Let's be real. And I push for that. People say, where we don't have anybody that's ready. We don't have anybody that's in the pipeline and all of that. That's why that youth engagement office is important, but also to address it immediately when I get there. I already know because of my relationships of people that are Black who are more than qualified to lead, whether it's in human resources, whether it's as a chief of staff, whether it's head of your legal department. I know these people. I see them. There's a young Black lady right now, Renee Rodney, who could have easily gone and have been when the mayor's chief counsel left, could have easily been chief counsel. And in my opinion, should have. And so you have to be willing to uplift these people. And I already have a history of doing that. But Mays, I know you said that was my last question, but before you go, this was probably one that would interest you. There's 20 departments in the 21 departments in the Secretary of State office. One is called the index office. You see that, you may skip over it, right? Index office. Okay, you indexing, you're filing. Well, that office performed over like 100 statutory duties, and one you'll appreciate is that they are responsible for registering lobbyists and recording their expenditures. Don't you think? I'm going to be looking at that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that lobbyist, that index office is very important. Look, Alderman, the Secretary of State office controls a lot of different things that people really don't recognize, and I want to commend Jesse White for his years of service. But it is, as we move forward, we have to look at our self-interest and what is going to happen going forward. I look forward to talking to all of the candidates for Secretary of State's office, but I do want to make sure that I show some extra special love to Alderman David Moore, who has never run from us, has never denied the "what's in it for the black people" call or mantra, even when it wasn't popular. And so, Alderman Moore, we want to say we don't ever forget our friends. We're going to give everybody an equal opportunity, a fair opportunity to come and address our audience. But we know the people who value our audience. And so, Alderman, we want to thank you for coming on today, and we want to wish you all the best of luck in your endeavor. And I'm sure that very shortly, if you tell people how they can find out and how they can join your campaign, if you give us a website, I'm sure that people will do it. And I also want to make sure y'all know, before he ever started to run, when we first made this move, right, when we first came over to doing this thing, one of the very first people who wrote a check, never knowing anything, who said, I want to support What's in It for the Black People Media from his own personal money, not his campaign. He ain't go get somebody else. He got his tax return and came over here and gave us a check. And I say that in that, like, your friends, it ain't when it's popular, right? Right now, everybody's offering us a check. And let me tell you, we're going to take them all. We taking them all. But I also want you to know that we recognize who gave us a check when we were struggling. And we're still struggling as we're trying to make it. And who was calling before and saying, yo, I'm down and whatever y'all need. So, Alderman Moore, we want to thank you. Good luck on your endeavors. I will be sharing your phone numbers. And if anybody is interested in getting involved, please tell them where your website is or how they can get involved, Alderman.
Right. You can reach us at 217-888-0545. Again, that number is 217-888-0545. And moreforillinois.com.
Hey, now, who's your campaign
and Maze,
manager?
I want to just say this, and this is what I value and I appreciate about you. Just because I do support What's in It for the Black people, you have not shrugged from your duty of asking the tough questions. And I appreciate that about you. And because the people know, and I never wanted you to. And sometimes we agree or disagree, but we get it's about helping the people. And when we do that, everybody win. And I just want to say I appreciate you, because it will weaken me as a person if you just did softball stuff. And you've never done that, Maze. And I want to say thank you for that. I appreciate that. It makes me better. When I come on this show, I have to actually prepare harder when I go on WGN or anywhere else. I promise. I'm like, man, I got to come with it, because you know this. You've been here. You've seen it for years. And so you know how to intertwine the political, the business, and the community part. Everybody don't have that talent, Maze. They're either focused on one and don't know how to incorporate or know how all three impact our growth. And you do. And so I never know what questions you're going to ask, and I always have to be prepared. But I just want to say thank you for not weakening me by because you could have done it just to be nice, but you've always come with, hey, this is about the people. If you're going to get in this thing, you better know your stuff. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Alderman. Let me just let you know we are opening up the Lion's Den again. That's where we made our name, right, with the Lion's Den, but we're going back in the campaign season. And so be prepared, y'all, because, today was your first one. And I'm just getting the Lions woke back up. So when you come back, get ready, because we ain't gonna feed them for a week, so they gonna be ready. Hey y'all, this is our good friend and Alderman of the 17th Ward, Alderman David Moore. He is running for the office of Secretary of State. His number will be available in the chat in the view. But I appreciate y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
And Maze, you got one of the smartest young ladies in this city of Chicago, and Ruthie Moore.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
WIIFTBP.
Same stuff, different life. New day, same fight. How it comes, how it goes. One's on top, one's that know. But they forgot, they forgot, they forgot. And you bury a seed, it grows.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host the village administrator to be?
Mr. Village Administrator.
Todd Stroger.
Todd said he want a different title. He said he don't like being the
Mr.
village
President.
administrator.
Shoot.
He said he want to change his title to something else.
Yeah, like King of the Universe.
Huh?
King of the Universe sounds good.
He said he want to be Mr. Robbins.
See, right after they vote on me, I'm just gonna. It's gonna be like Skynet. I'm gonna own everything.
Not so. See, this why you got the this why you got. See,
Let him be great, Maze. Let him be great.
He has to be the great administrator. Remember, we got a mayor.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Rule
about
number
that.
rule. Let me be clear.
I forgot about that.
See, but that's the problem.
Gotta flow back down.
Rule number
That's
one.
right.
Never outshine the master.
The master.
Rule number one. See, this is my thing, right? This is my thing.
What's your thing, Maze?
It's like everybody got to find their lane.
Okay.
I'm really starting to say like everybody got to find their lane because we got political experts.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying. It's like we got. No, I'm just saying everybody got to find their lane because it's like everybody be poisoning the well with stuff they don't know.
No, he's right about that.
I'm saying like here's the thing.
You know, everybody got an opinion.
Well, yeah.
Just like everybody's got
a beep.
Exactly.
But when the work has to be done, you do what you do well. That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. So I just want to talk about today the exciting moment that is in front of us. I believe that, and I know y'all gonna be, and everybody gonna trip and they gonna talk crazy, and I'm gonna throw the ball back at you. I am excited about Robbins, Illinois.
Yes.
I am excited that Robbins chose a young man with a lot of runway to lead them. But I'm also excited because it's kind of what everybody's been talking about. The war, the young people do the fighting, and the advice and counsel come from the older people.
And I did a little bit of research.
You get to watch when you be on the research.
But what I noticed is that not only did the people of Robbins choose the mayor, but the mayor been putting in work in Robbins.
Yes.
And so I want to say that to all the young people that feel like they putting in work and that it be in vain, keep on pushing.
Wait a minute. What's going on? Hold on. What show is this? What show is this? Because Ruthie be like, what you mean I ain't getting my... Everybody want their stuff today. What do you mean he waited 6 years and he grinded and he got dumped on and
he put in the work. And so I think that, but not only did he put in the work, but once he put in the work, the people made space for him.
Yes.
And I think that's the beauty of it is that, come on, y'all, we can make this intergenerational thing work. We put in our work, then make the space and let's watch him work.
Yep. Let's not watch though.
Let's help.
Let's help.
Right.
Let's not watch. I am excited about the concept of Wakanda. Now, Todd looked at me. He's like, what the hell is Wakanda? Did you mean? You know what I am. So this whole Robbins thing, as I think about it, I think about us using our imagination. For one time in our lives, not imagining ourselves empowered through the vision of what white folks say. White folks would say, "Why Robbins? It's a little right." But
it's a village.
To me, there's the opportunity for black people to have a homeland. Right? Like you to rethink policing, to rethink fire departments, to rethink recreation, to think about a young mayor who understands the young people, and I recognize that there's a lot that I don't understand in the way that young people see the world. And I think what is so awesome is the combination, right? Like the unwillingness to accept the old way of doing things, but still at the same time respecting the process, right? And saying like, man, we got to build this thing together. And so I was just thinking about today, shout out to Mayor Tiffany Henyard, right? And you know, Todd, it's funny because I've been in a lot of different meetings and a lot of different people. And one of the things that I find myself doing in these meetings is falling back to the old vision, the way I find myself being brought into these meetings and having to fight my vision of us through the eyes of white people. And I think for the most sophisticated of us, the most well-read, the most intellectual of us, all of us, until we actually acknowledge that it ain't just everybody else, that it's us too that have seen ourselves through the vision of white folks, and it ain't just everybody else. I think about every time we say Robbins and somebody has to qualify it.
Like what? What you mean by that?
Robbins, right? I think about black folks. And I think about this young man who saw his hometown and a vision for it, and no matter what nobody said, we are limited, in my estimation, by our experiences and our vision. I look at Robbins and I think, why can't Robbins be Rosemont? Why can't Robbins be Tinley Park? Why can't Robbins be Orland? And oftentimes, it's not because the land is the land. It's close to the expressway. It is the vision of the people associated with it. It's why when we look around, whether we believe it or not, we're comparing ourselves to white people. And I was just thinking about the opportunity of one time for black people to have their own Wakanda. And I think that the white guys will always convince you that it can never happen, that you don't have it within you, that you can't do it without us. And I'm not saying that you can't that you don't have collaborations. But I am super excited to watch a young black man assume his place, and kind of, it ain't the black folks, the villages trying to surround him. And I'm just super excited about it. And I keep thinking of when this first spaceship lands in Robbins. And I keep thinking about when Ruthie buys her third home in Robbins, right? And I think about all of the young people being able to come home from college and team up with Robbins and Ida and build their first homes. And I think about the opportunity to build a black homeland in the oldest black municipality in the state of Illinois. And I think about, I'm sitting next to the man who's sitting next to the man, right? And why not us?
Why not? There you go, Maze.
Why not us? Why not us? And I'm just going to tell you, this whole concept that somebody white telling us what we can't do.
What would Dr. Willie Wilson say?
I sat in the front of my checks.
And he tired of white folks
telling him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all. It's like
we just need
let
some
the
unity.
let the politicians do the politics. Let the people do politics.
People stay in their lane.
People pontificate. No, I'm serious. It's like it's a lot of political pontification. I gotta see.
It's discourse. Huh? It's just a little discourse.
It's a lot of It's the Mace Jackson show.
And also, I refuse to see the negative. I talk about the positive.
Come on, Todd.
You know what?
That's why I don't talk about no Wild 100s or no Terror Town.
The what?
No, Wild 100s.
Wait, where?
You can't even. That's like the lower end. The Wild 100s.
The Wild 100s.
What is the Wild 100s? You done lost your Chicago. You done lost your Chicago.
I'm sorry. I was using my Bolingbrook accent when I said that.
Bolingbrook. We say Wild Hundreds.
It's the Wild Hundreds.
Hundreds. All right, look. We gotta go because the Book of Dawn gonna be talking about. She gonna open the door in a minute.
Todd, it's Dawn's turn.
Right, it's Dawn's turn.
Hey,
Excuse
Dawn.
me, she's speaking.
Ready to open the door.
It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host. Hey, y'all. One uppers gotta unite. You gotta wake up early in the morning.
I'm tired of putting y'all on the new words.
Wake up. You got
You missed my point. My whole point is I'm
the
not
6:30
using those
the 6 a.m. uppers.
terms.
It's the 6 a.m. uppers. It's the Maze Jackson Show. For Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd, I am the host asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, Wild. What did he say? Wild 100?
I'm sorry.
Get out of here.
The Wild Streets of
We out of here.
Bolingbrook.
Peace.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black